What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. But please note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 of free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75. The offer ends very soon, in just about 3 weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about the market. So as of right now, the market's getting bought back up. It is looking a little bit more bullish. I still think there's potential for us to go to all-time highs, if not surpass them. However, my view still remains the same about how there's going to likely be an increase in volatility and downside the closer we get to the election. We're not ready yet for that downside move, and the market's trying to push, but we'll see what happens with the catalysts that are coming out. So the first thing worth mentioning is the fact that today is going to be Wednesday, October 9th, 2024 for the markets. As we're about to open, we have Logan giving a speech from the Fed, Barkin and a couple more, such as Williams and Jefferson. So there's going to be a bunch of Fed speakers for the day. Then that's 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the FOMC minutes. This is not an FOMC meeting. Once again, it's just a report about FOMC. It's going to give us more insights about what other Fed speakers had to say. So get ready for FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock p.m. It may cause some high volatility. Now, for events involving the markets, Nvidia's AI Summit is still continuing today. It's the final day of the last conference, which is still bullish for the share price. Besides that, we have the FOMC minutes coming out for today. And for tomorrow, we have the CPI report, initial jobless claims, and Tesla's robotaxi event. It's going to be very, very important, so I can't wait for that. For earnings, just know that there's not really much coming out for today, but going into tomorrow, we have like Delta and a few more. And for Friday, we have JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and BlackRock. A couple of things about the market. The market is still holding up decently for the time being. The market is still anticipating a soft landing, and so far it remains bullish. So it could try to push a little bit higher, but like I said before, don't be overly bullish. Things will shift depending on how things go. For those out there who are closer to the Florida area, I hope for the best for everyone as we have Hurricane Milton approaching. So please be prepared, guys. Stay safe. I just wish the best for everyone out there, right? You know, it's very, very devastating the amount of damage that's being done, how many lives are being affected and hurt by this. So I hope that people, find safety. I hope that they are, prepared for what's about to come. And they're once again doing the best they can to try to help those around them. So I just wish the best for everyone, and my heart goes out to everyone that's impacted by this hurricane. Besides that, I'm not seeing anything else that's too crazy that's coming out on the news. So that's it for the time being. As far as Tesla goes, there is some news coming out about how they're sending out the robotaxi tickets for the event. So I can't wait to see how this ends up going. If Tesla announces new products, it could be very bullish. If not, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm still very, very excited about it. You know, there's been a long wait for it, so hopefully they give us something that's going to wow investors. Going back to SPY, okay, so my view is the same. We could attempt to push higher to new all-time highs, but I still believe we will top eventually, and then there's going to be a big corrective phase as we get closer to the election. So if we lose 571, look at 569 as our main support on SPY. If 569 fails us, we're at risk of coming down to 568, and 565 is support. If 565 breaks, we turn more bearish. It hasn't done that yet, and we're holding supports nicely. We have resistance to watch for right here. So what could happen today is we might dip a bit, and then start pushing very, very nicely to the all-time high. There's a very good chance it might be going for that, very close to about 575. If that breaks, we could be looking for 578 to 580 as our potential targets. However, I wouldn't turn overly bullish, because once we're at those high resistance levels, I'd be very careful. With the FOMC minutes coming out, this could help the market, so we'll see about that. But as of right now, we remain more bullish. So market could attempt to push once again to all-time highs, even surpass them, but then things could shift after we get our big data. For ES, we're trying to push up a little bit higher as well right over here. We're looking for the 5820 areas, our resistance. We'll see if 5800 breaks. If we break that, we're looking for 5820. If we lose 5770, we're looking for a dip back down towards the 5750s. So we'll see how this ends up going. I think there's more potential for this to pump higher. So give this a little bit more time. I think that the 5825s are very, very possible. We'll have to see if we continue to break through them, 5800s. I think ES definitely has potential, in my personal opinion. As far as Tesla goes, we're kind of consolidating right now. We'll have to see if we end up losing the 238 to 240 area. If that fails, this will be dipping even lower all the way down to fill our gap. If we break past our resistance around this 247 area, we're looking for 250 as our next target. So as far as Tesla goes, we're consolidating. There could be an attempt to push up higher by tomorrow, but it's very simple. The robotaxi event's either going to cause Tesla to dump down to fill this gap to 230, or we're about to see a big bounce back up to at least 258. So we'll see which way Tesla goes. It could go either way. I am a little bit more optimistic since they could be announcing new products. So let's hope that ends up being the case. But we'll be very patient nonetheless. As far as Nvidia goes, it's pushing because of the AI conference that's going to be happening today. So look at 136 as our target. If we break the 136s, we could get closer to 140, but then be careful as we hit those resistance levels, as they're going to be kind of tough. So give this some time, but I still see a little bit more upside potential for Nvidia. For Bitcoin has support around the 61,850 area. If we end up losing that, we're looking for a dip back down towards 61,000. We also have this resistance to watch for around 64,300. So we could go either way. There's a risk of us dipping lower, though, so be very mindful of that. For other factors out there, we also have NQ. NQ is trying to push a little bit higher. We have 20,300 as resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 20,400. If we end up losing 20,100, we're looking for a dip back down. Now, NQ has more upside potential, in my personal opinion. But as we get closer to November, this is going to likely see a rug pull, so be careful with that. We're not ready for the rug pull yet. The chart remains bullish, so this could attempt to push for these highs if we break 20,300. For the QQQ, we're trying to push right now. If we lose 485, look for 483. If those fails, we turn more bearish. If we hold, we could continue to pump for these highs up here, taking us up to the 490s. We have a gap to fill at 495. We could attempt to get up there as long as we try to break past 490. So it still looks a little bit more bullish and might try to hit for 490, maybe try to break above that for 493, then 495. So we'll see about that. But then whether or not that happens could also be heavily dictated by FOMC minutes and such. Aapl looks a little bit more bullish. We have a gap to fill at 226.5. If we lose 225, we could be dipping, but this is still favoring that wants to push a little bit higher, which could drag the QQQ a little bit higher as well. For other factors, we have the IWM. If we break 218, we're looking for 220 for the gap fill. And if we end up losing 216, we're looking for a dip back down to 215.5. This is going to consolidate, but it could attempt to push a little bit with FOMC minutes. For Coinbase, we're just consolidating as well. We have that gap to fill below, so we'll see if we hold 166. If it loses the 165 area, we're looking for that gap fill to 163. If it breaks 169.5, we turn back up. As of right now, it's consolidating. Could actually dip a little bit. It looks a little bit weak compared to the market. Amazon's looking a little bit more bullish. If we break past 183.5, we're looking for a push for 185. If we end up losing 182, we're looking for a dip back down closer to 180. So this could try to rebound. So give this the time it needs. For Meta, if we end up losing 590, we're looking for 586 as supports. If that fails us, we're going to be looking for a dip back down towards the lower 580s. If we continue to push, we're looking for basically the 600 areas our target, so we'll see how that ends up going. For Microsoft, if we break 416, we're looking for basically 420. If this rejects, we're looking for a dip back down to 410. But this still has some upside potential. For Google, if we reject here, we're looking for a dip back down towards 164. And if we break out, we're looking for this gap fill, and also 166 is our target. So we're still stuck in the middle. The VIX is trying to push, but don't forget we have this gap down here to fill. So we will see if the VIX comes down as the market pushes just for a bit before the VIX gets a breakout all the way up towards the 36 area to fill the gap up here. So it's very simple. The VIX could dip a little bit as the market pushes, but we might be pushing to fill this gap later on because the market has a rug pull coming. So as we get closer to the November period, there could be a rug pull. But for now, the VIX might dip first before we get that big surge. So that kind of tells us that the market may try to push a little bit higher for now. But there's a big but. Later on, there's going to be a rug pull coming, possibly in November. All right. So that's what my view of the market is. My view has been very consistent. The only thing that has shifted is how high we're going. The high is likely not in yet. So, that's the only thing that I kind of shifted on. I think we could go a little bit higher than what I previously anticipated. But I still hold the same view that the market's not going to really sustain these high levels for long. We could push a little bit longer for another couple of days. But eventually the top is going to come. The market's getting ready for another increased period of risk. I thank you all for listening. I hope you guys have a really awesome day. I'll be back in a couple of hours for another update. Until then, take care and peace out.